Hi!
Hi!
Okay, so this is going to be part 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Part 2 of our explaining Transformers. Who are we going to explain? We're trying to explain Transformers to. Who are we trying to explain it to?
Papa and Nani.
And?
And Dada.
Right, so this is like Transparents for... Transformers for grandparents.
Yep.
Or Transparents the series. I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. So,
Like a different kind of series.
a very different kind of series. So, today, I think we're going to cover, we're going to look at characters, and we're going to be looking at the good guys. Now, what are the good guys called in Transformers?
Autobots.
They're called the Autobots. All right. Now, so do you want to start with the one you have in your hands? Sure. Because it's kind of your favorite, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's put your wings up because they're cooler when they're going up. All right, this...
It's Windblade.
It's Windblade. Say that clearly for them. Oh, hang on.
It's
Say it clearer for them.
Windblade.
It's Windblade. Windblade.
Wow!
Can you tell them a little bit about Windblade? Tell them a little bit about Windblade.
Windblade's actually a city speaker.
She's a city speaker. What does that mean?
That means she can talk to Titans.
Very good. She can talk to Titans. Titans are giant city-sized transformers that can't otherwise talk to the regular-sized ones. We're talking truly massive things. All right, and what else? What does she transform into?
A jet.
She transforms into a
But
jet.
she didn't ever be a tall or a tow truck in any versions.
Right, she's always been a jet.
Yeah, I don't know why.
No, she's always been a jet. Well, think about the name, Windblade. Now, is she a girl or a boy?
Duh.
Girl. So that's another thing. Transformers have boys and girls.
Yeah.
And recently they've been pretty even, actually, in the terms of numbers of boys and girls. And Windblade's a wonderful example of that.
And she really makes some wind, but
Right. Where does she get her name from? What can she do?
talk to Titans also.
Right. But what are her fans able to do?
This is big bad guys.
Exactly. She can cause her fans to push back anything else she doesn't want to be near her. They didn't include it. Yeah, like Slipstream. We'll get to her in the Decepticon episode. But what is her typical weapon? They didn't include it with a figure. But what's her usual weapon?
She normally has a sword, but
She does normally have a sword.
Yeah, but she doesn't really have a sword now.
No, they didn't include one for some reason.
I don't know.
I don't know either. So that's Windblade.
Yeah.
Now, who's Windblade's like best friend? You want to talk about him next? Okay.
Bumblebee.
You gotta stand him up. Can you stand him up? Excellent. Okay.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. Shown here in his Cyberverse version. Yep. Now, tell me, what do you know about Bumblebee?
He didn't really have a sword.
He doesn't have a sword. He has
A stinger.
a stinger. What does a stinger do?
Sting bad guys.
Right, it
I
can
mean,
stun.
sometimes.
It can sting. Well, it can sting anybody, can't it? It stuns them for a little bit of time. He also has a blaster.
I know.
Yeah. Now, Bumblebee. Do you remember what Bumblebee was when Daddy was a kid?
What?
He was a Volkswagen Beetle.
That is so cute.
It was very cute. And sometimes we still see him as a Beetle, but they based this one off of the more like Camaro like sports car. Yeah. So we have Bumblebee. Is that who you want to talk about next? Well, go take it close to the camera and tell them who it is.
This
What's that?
is War.
That's Whirl.
He has the pew-pew, right?
He does have a blaster.
He has one, like. Tavi and I.
All right, now this particular figure of Blaster,
Yeah.
or of Whirl, excuse me, is a what they call one step. So he can change really fast.
Mhm. And
Hang
wow.
Let's show them what he looks like as a robot. See? And I think he works really well in that single step changer thing.
Let's show him what grandma.
Now, despite the fact that their name is the Autobots, and in the very early days,
Let's
almost
show
all of
him
the Autobots were
I
cars.
go ahead.
Increasingly, members of their roster showed up that were part of the Autobots that weren't cars. But the name stuck. Now, who is that?
Grandma.
It's Grimlock. And who does Grimlock lead? He's leader of
Dinobot.
the Dinobots, for which we don't have any other examples. But
Yeah.
we do have Grimlock. That's one Grimlock we have. We actually have, that's the one from one toy line. We have the one that's a little more geared at her age group that is still Grimlock, slightly different look.
Yeah.
And
Show him in his dino mode.
watch out, don't step on Bumblebee.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, what do you know about Grimlock? What's kind of cool about him?
He really didn't have sword in this.
He doesn't have a sword in this series. He does have a blaster at points early on, but later, once he gets his dino form, does he use it much of anything other than changing to be a dino?
No.
Not really.
Yeah.
He does have missiles in his hips.
Yeah. He shot you in the eye.
He shot me in the eye.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'll have to go to the eye doctor now.
No.
How are you going to explain that I got shot by tiny missiles from a tiny robot T-Rex to my eye doctor? She'll never believe me.
It was just a joke.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a real joke.
All right. So we have. Ooh.
Grandma!
We have Grimlock.
Wah!
Yep. He roars.
Wah!
He can blast lava.
Then beep 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 beep.
Yep.
Shot you in the eye again.
Oh man, I got all sorts of lava in my eye now. All right.
No, he thought.
Now, what should we say about Grimlock?
Hey, Daddy.
Yes.
I thought twice.
You what?
I saw his hips.
You saw his hips?
I went beep 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 with it.
Oh, okay.
But then
Now, what can you say about Grimlock? What's he like?
He's like the dinosaur, right? But
He's a dinosaur. Now, in the Cyberverse one, is he smart? Is he dumb?
he's not the most smart.
Well, I think what he is. How does he talk?
Me, Grandma.
Yep. When he's in his dinosaur mode, he talks like a young child, right? He says, "Me, Grimlock." Now, Grimlock was from my era. Now, the other ones, Bumblebee was a beetle in my era, and Grimlock's from my era. In fact, he was one of my favorites as a kid.
And what was he when he was in War Age?
He was a T-Rex back then, too. He's been pretty consistently a T-Rex. Now,
I don't know. Which one did you have?
I have one that I kind of wish I still had. It's actually worth quite a bit of money now. The original one I had that I got rid of a long time ago. Bumblebee is now transformed. Off screen, I've now can show that the car is no longer a VW Beetle, but it's still yellow and fast and sprightly and all of those things.
He's gonna blast into all those guys.
Right. Now, back in my era, there was no... Please don't do that. I'm knocking things off the table. There was no Windblade in my era, and Windblade was introduced in the comics quite a bit later. All right. Who should we talk about next? Okay.
Fry!
This is Now, who is that?
Oh, we don't want.
Elita 1. Now, what can you tell me while I work on her transformation. What can you tell me about Alita 1? You okay?
Yeah.
What can you tell me about Alita 1?
She didn't really have a sword in this
She
series.
doesn't have a sword. She never really has had a sword. It's not her style. What does
she
she
has
do?
a pew-pew, but she has two pew-pews.
In this one, she does have 2 pew-pews. She's got 2 blasters in this one. Other versions have had just 1, right?
I don't know why she does.
She's usually a car, right?
Yeah.
In this version, she's not. She's a jet.
But I don't know why.
Why is she a jet in this version?
Yeah.
I don't really know why either.
I don't really know from Daddy's style.
I mean, I know, like, the actual answer is it was the toy line. It was, they wanted to take a character, they needed to take a leader character, and Alita 1 is a leader, and they wanted to they needed to use existing molds for... Actually, she's the leader of the female Autobots. So there's Alita 1. Usually is a car, not a jet, but they wanted to reuse the mold from another character that was already a jet, so they really use her and just basically mold a new head and a new torso plate. Now, what's important between these two? So who is that?
Optimus Prime.
That's Optimus Prime. And what is he? What is he like? What's his role?
His role is to blast time.
Well, he's also the leader of the Autobots, right?
Yeah.
Now, what's the deal between him and Alita 1?
Alita 1 was in the Thomas one time, though.
She was, but more importantly, as you've seen some of the old episodes, they have a thing, don't they?
Yeah, they have another thing.
They have another thing. They actually have a relationship, and they're a couple actually. And it's usually one where they can never really be in the same place, same time for very long, just because that's the way the war effort goes. All right, we've got 2 more to talk about. And which one would you like to talk about, kid?
It's hard than Chromia.
Which one do you want to talk about? Chromia. Chromia, who's another one of the female Autobots. She's the light blue one. She is in a car mode that's pretty typical. Meant to be sort of a, they all come from the planet Cybertron, and in a lot of the continuities, the female Autobots are back on Cybertron, trying to keep up the fight while Optimus goes to Earth with a group. And so their car modes stay pretty alien looking, so that doesn't really look like any car you've ever seen. And in fact, you can see pretty clearly that there's a person underneath. But that's Chromia, light blue, female transformer. She's under the command of Alita 1. And what would you say about her, kid?
I would say she doesn't have a sword.
She does not have a sword. That's important today, apparently. What else would you say about her?
I would say she does not. I would say she has a pew-pew.
She does have a gun.
In this version.
Pretty much every version, yep.
What?
Is she pretty cool?
Mm-hmm.
Now, since we've introduced the idea that there are girls and boys, is there any... are there any girl Decepticons that we might talk about next time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is. We'll talk about one. Slipstream is a good example.
Mm-hmm. We used to have her as a good guy.
We've had her as a good guy and a bad guy, because she sort of plays that role a bit in Cyberverse. But, yeah, Chromia. We've seen a nice version of her in a recent Netflix series, so she's gotten a recent figure. I mean, one of the big things between these figures and the ones of my era is these have knees and elbows. My era did not. Very straightforward and simple. Toy manufacturers come a long way. We have one last one to go, kid, among the Autobots.
Hot Rod!
Hot Rod. I had him in his car form earlier. Here's him in robot mode, right?
Yeah, stick his brains out.
Okay, so he can make flames.
Flame.
Here's him in his Cyberverse, which is the name of a series, if you hear me keep referencing that. He's in black here, though most of the time he's in red. He's in black here because...
From a dirt.
Yeah, the sludge he falls through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens in the story, and he ends up becoming all black because of it, and he keeps the black color because this makes him stealthy, I guess. Hot Rod, brash, energetic, likes to race.
And for he turned to black, he was red with Bumblebee.
He was red compared to Bumblebee's yellow.
And then.
And you may be asking, was there a fast blue car? Yes, there was. Do you remember the fast blue car's name?
Yes.
What was it?
Melissa.
No. Who was the fast blue car? And he was on the planet of Rust in Cyberverse. Remember his name? He's racing with Bumblebee and Hot Rod. You just Blur. Very good. Yes, Blur.
He didn't really fall into a dirt.
No. Blur.
Why?
Well, Hot Rod did because he was sacrificing himself to protect others. It just turned out that he was able to get out later. He was sacrificing himself to protect Bumblebee and Cheetor. You don't have a Cheetor figure.
Yeah, but you can get one.
They're hard to find, kid. Believe it or not, I've looked. They're not easy to find.
Can you get one for me and
maybe at some point. You've got others coming that are important to you. Trust me.
I can't wait to see them.
I know.
What are they?
You'll have to figure out what you can do to earn them.
What are?
If I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
I really wanted to see them. Can you
Well,
just
they're not here yet.
No, Daddy. Can you just show a portions to me on your phone?
The portions?
No, I mean.
The pictures?
Yeah.
Well, that would tell you who it is. I guarantee you all three of these characters that are coming are ones you recognize. Ow! Oh!
Sorry.
Oh!
Sorry. Let me give you.
Oh, okay. I think that's good. Say goodbye.